Hey guys, how's it going? It's the Crypto Analyst here, and I hope all of you guys are having a good morning, evening, wherever you guys are from. Welcome back to another Bitcoin technical analysis, and today I wanted to explain this continuation pattern in Bitcoin and how it could actually lead towards another price rally to the upside in the future. Now, this has happened a couple times already, so I want to look at what it's done in the past and then explain how this could lead towards another rally in the future. Now, this isn't for sure, so if it does break down, I'm going to be going over some of my areas of support that are listed on screen already. So if you guys are interested, go and stick around for the video, and do not forget to hit the like and subscribe button, as it does help out the channel a lot. But that being said, let's go ahead and dive on into this video. So when I say that this has already happened before, it's not verbatim, it's not exactly repeating itself, but it does look very similar to a couple of the other rallies and before they actually rallied to the upside. So if we go over here on Bitcoin, we're looking at this on the 4-hour right now. We can see that it has had numerous higher swing lows over here, which is a very, very good sign for any kind of continuation pattern, especially in a bull market. So the fact that it's still keeping these higher swing lows is a very good thing. But the way that it's been doing it is kind of what's been catching my eye here. And so I want to go ahead and look at a couple of the past examples in the way that it's been doing this and comparing them to what's been happening over here. Now, again, it's not going to be exactly the same, but these do look very eerily similar as to why it could, continue this pattern, basically. So if we go all the way back over here, again, we saw these lower swing highs, but most notably over here, this looks very, very similar to me as to where we're at right now today. So yes, we did have this rally up. We had this mega rally up. It came back down pretty hard. What looked like it was going to set a new trend of lower lows ended up not happening. We see this continuation pattern happen, consistent higher swing lows on this trend, a mega rally to the upside, another of the same pattern happening over here, a mega rally to the upside, and then we have another continuation pattern over here looking very similar to the ones that have already happened in the past, at least over the course of this year in 2019. So does this mean that Bitcoin is going to guaranteed rally to the upside? The answer is no. Nothing's guaranteed, especially not in cryptocurrency. But this is something that definitely caught my eye and I wanted to bring to light because this could very well be acting as a continuation pattern on Bitcoin. The 200 EMA is still holding. The same thing down here. The 200 EMA was still holding. The same thing down here. The 200 EMA was still holding. So until, something gets contradicted that makes me think otherwise, I am leaning towards a bullish case scenario here. Now, I was mentioning that this could very well have a little bit of bearish momentum left in it. That might not even be the case anymore. It looked like, a lot of this did play out. If it was to fall down, though, and if this is to completely fail, I do have my areas of support already listed. Now, again, the 200 EMA is going to be a very, very important one. We've held that for pretty much all of the rallies over here. Yes, we have pierced through it, but anything that was going below it was immediately bought and back up so fast, usually within the day or within hours, at a time. So besides that, I do have the support line around $7,600. Then I have another one around $6,600, which, was one of the strongest areas of resistance in the history of Bitcoin. It was absolutely blown through on the way up, but that does not mean that it can't be used on the way back down. It does mean that it's less likely and inclined to, but it doesn't mean that it's completely irrelevant. So I am going to still keep it in here. Maybe it gets used, maybe it doesn't. Time will tell. But I do have this area as a potential area of support. The next one's going to be this mid 5,000 range, because what this is the first real consolidation that we got since the initial breakout. And then, of course, the initial breakout being the top of the ascending triangle all the way down at $4,200 would be my bottom for Bitcoin if all of this fails. Now, again, this is a worst case scenario. This is what I believe to be a continuation pattern in Bitcoin. And I think that, it's very likely that we still go up and probably touch 10K from here. So if this is to happen, again, there's contingencies in both ways, stop losses in place, obviously, but I do want to take a look at some of the indicators and oscillators, because when I was looking at this last, this was looking bearish. Of course, it rallied back towards the upside, and that bearish sentiment that was on the 4-hour is starting to go away. However, the RSI is actually approaching this area as I have drawn out over here. This RSI is approaching this overbought area around 70. So if it can, I'd be watching for rejection in this area. That's where it was previously rejected on the RSI, or maybe even for a lower swing high on the RSI. If something like that happens, it could lead to some sort of bearish divergence. But the overall sentiment of Bitcoin in its entirety right now is still bullish. I mean, it's hard to say that it's been doing this for all these months and all of a sudden it's bearish up here. I don't think that I can say that until at least it shows rejection of the 200 EMA, which it's very far from right now. Looking at this on the daily chart, I wanted to go ahead and break this down for the indicators and oscillators. The MACD on the daily chart still pointing directly towards the upside. It's saying, it did have all of this bearish volume, but that's pretty much just been drying up. Over here on the RSI, this has been coming down, but as I mentioned, there's plenty of room for this thing to move on the daily RSI to the upside. A lot of room. So this thing could keep climbing for days at a time before even wanting to come back down and be bearish again. So time will really tell in this scenario. I do think that this continuation pattern was worth making a video on. Again, very similar to the couple of other ones that we've had in the past over here. They're not identical. It's very rare that you get an identical one, but it is kind of cool to see a little bit of a historical analysis in all of this mix to say, okay, well, it could have the same outcome as these past times. If it's not going to, what are the pros and cons of why it should, and what are the pros and cons of why it should not? So definitely taking all that into factors here. I'm keeping my eye on this. I do think it's a very unique situation, and it's really going to kind of depend on this swing high. If Bitcoin gets a lower swing high on this swing right here, you could start to see a little bit of a bearish switch in sentiment. But until then, there's no reason to believe that. There's every reason to believe that Bitcoin's still bullish. It's still setting higher swing lows, and until that pattern is broken and the 200 EMA is below it, there's really no reason for me to be bearish onto this market. Again, it's been going up for the last 6 or 7 months, consistently. So, most people are not trying to short up here. A lot of people are starting to take profits up here, though. So, it's one of those double-edged swords where a lot of people are just kind of in their boat watching for the time being, seeing, what direction Bitcoin wants to continue in. So, hopefully this video was able to help you guys. I hope you guys did enjoy. If you guys did, do not forget to hit the like and subscribe button, as it does help out the channel a lot. And I will see you guys in the next video.